and act like you didn't. But you know you did.
I felt at the Olympic Games in 1980 at the bar. It's very hard because you work too much for a competition, and you can lose all the thing in 1 second.
But you can't put it out of your mind. You have to get up and finish, right?
Yes, but it's very hard. You must be a very strong person to compete and to finish the competition.
Emotionally strong.
Yes.
Yeah. Was it tough for you, Olga, on those rare times when you would fall?
Я чувствовала какую-то обиду, и то, что я не выполнила то пожелание зрителей, которые за меня болели.
I felt very bitter, and I also felt that I didn't fulfill my promise to the audience.
You understand Russian?
No.
Because you were smiling like you understood.
Little bit understand.
All right. Because you two were pretty tough competitors against each other, right?
I understand all the things.
You competed against each other in '76, right?
In 1976, Olympic Games in Montreal.
Good, that's when, all right. Some personal things regarding your countries. Are you sorry you left?
So I wanted to be free, that's why I left Romania, and now I'm happy because the Romanians are free.
Your former coach was here last night. He said he would not want to go back. Would you want to go back?
I will go back to visit, but I will not go back to stay.
Olga, what about the Soviet Union's team that we're going to see here tonight?
Ну, я думаю, что, как всегда, команда Советского Союза большое внимание уделяет подготовке.
Soviet team always spends a lot of time on a proper preparation.
Ну, и хочу пожелать самого большого успехов, победы.
I'd like to wish everyone success and victory, of course.
They, you are saying the Soviet Union definitely will be prepared.
Советская команда точно будет готова.
Ну, значит, она победит. Победит сильнейший всегда.
Yes, they will be prepared, and I know that the strongest will win.
Romania only has one person here, right?
Yes, one gymnast. Yesterday when I came here, I knew that from Romania came just one gymnast. I'm not disappointed because after all the things that happened in Romania, the most important thing was the freedom. And they have freedom now, and they can prepare for all the competition.
How good or how important to you was Karolyi?
It was very important for me. We were friends, and every time when I met him, I'm so emotional. I don't know, but I feel something inside.
What percentage would you say the coach counts of an athlete, given a very good gymnast with a fair coach, an average gymnast with a great coach? Who do better?
I think it's 50-50.
50-50?
Yes.
Would you agree with that? The coach is 50%?
Я считаю, как и собака, то есть похожа на своего хозяина, так большой успех зависит от того, как будут сочетаться мысли.
Yes, undoubtedly. Coach and an athlete have to agree, have to have similar pattern of thoughts.
Is the coach important tonight, right now, right before you perform?
It's important because sometimes you don't have the chance to speak with the coach because you think your exercise, but you need the coach eyes because you can understand eyes to eyes.
Is he talking to you while you're performing?
Yes, I knew all the time.
Did your coach talk to you while you were performing?
Я никогда не выступала, чтобы тренер был рядом. Всегда выступала с другим тренером.
Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to perform with my coach side by side.
Но я всегда искала глаза
But I
тренера.
always searched his eyes.
Он всегда был как турист.
I always knew that he's out there.
We'll come right back. We're going to have more, by the way, with Nadia Comaneci and Olga Korbut. They'll be with us through the women's gymnastics. Hey, if you're going to get two experts, you could do a lot worse than this. And speaking of broadcasting it, you could do a lot worse than our man on the scene, Jim Simpson. Jim?
Thank you, Larry. Back at the Tacoma Dome, we're in the second rotation. The Americans are on the floor exercise, and the very challenging Chinese are on the unevens. Here is the second rotation within the rotation. Remember, that is not what they were at the end of the first rotation. At the end of the first rotation, the United States had that point .088 difference over the USSR, and Spain was third. Zhang Shaya will be the first that we will see on the unevens for the Chinese. Amy Scher has already gone for the Americans in the floor exercise. Came with a 9.550. And this is the young 15-year-old from Shandong Province, Zhang Shaya.
And the Chinese placing in fourth after the first event is not indicative of their talent. That is a fairly weak event for them. This, however, is one of their strongest events.
And she is the strongest of the Chinese. She won the China Cup on this event, this uneven bar apparatus.
They have such beautiful lines on this event. Good swing, perfect form always. Watch the free swing. Nice high ginger. The back somersault with a half twist to regrasp the bar. Giant swing with a half turn. To a front giant, very well done, to a beautiful high Jaeger. The judges are really looking for extra amplitude on those release moves. Giant with a full pirouette. Into the dismount. Nice high tuck double back. It's not one of the most difficult dismounts being done in the competition, but they do their dismounts level with the high bar.
That's what we said. Watch out for the Chinese young team. 15-year-old Zhang Shaya.
This is a great angle. You can really see the velocity on this swing. Look at the height above the bar. And perfect positioning for the regrasp. You can also see how far those bars are separated. It's a long jump from the low bar up to the high bar. Here comes the last giant with a full pirouette. She does a preparation giant right into a tuck double back dismount. You can see she finishes it at the level of the high bar. Very nicely done.
Nice smile, and why not? A 9.912.
They are really going to make a move on this event if the following two gymnasts hit their routines.
Well, the name you see there is correct. It is Li Li. Her last name is Li. Her first name is Li. 15 years old, and like all the rest of them, very short. 4'7½". They're very young people, 68 pounds. And in an international event, she was first in this event this year.
Beautiful straight front giant. Giant reverse heck going the other way on the high bar. Watch this move. First time I've ever seen it. A German giant into a reverse heck. Very original and very difficult. And another high tuck double back dismount.
What a tremendous dismount. The Chinese are going to be in the top 3 for sure after this particular event. It is their best event, the uneven parallel bars. Beautiful
Amplitude in that routine, and that one unique move in the middle of the routine, I'm sure, will probably bear the name Lili after this. Look at the nice body position. The reverse heck going the other direction, not as common. Now she sets up for this move, and this is unusual. A German giant, and right back over the bar to the reverse heck.
The officials, Kathy, are in dismay also with that great performance. They've not yet posted her score. Li Li, 15 years old. The Chinese men's team was a bunch of juniors who did rather well here, but the Chinese women, also youngsters and stars of the future, are doing very well, at least in this apparatus. The uneven parallel bars, here comes her score, 9.925 for Li Li of China. So with that in mind, here come the Chinese. They started out the second rotation in 4th place. We're sure they'll move up, and we'll come back. Now to Larry King.
Thanks, Jim, and I'm with Nadia Comaneci and Olga Korbut. And before we take a break, their thoughts on the young Chinese. Nadia, the Chinese look 11 years old. 10 years. This is a young team.
Yes, it's a young team. They change. This is other generation, a young generation.
Now, Is this young lady impressing you?
The Chinese was all the time very good on the bars, and she did a very good routine. Very difficult.
This is not then, in other words, their performance on the bars is not surprising you.
No, I knew that the Chinese are very good, but...
Okay. Olga, you like this performance too?
Да, мне очень нравится, вот, потому что включены, во-первых, новые элементы.
Yes, I really like it. These elements are new.
Я еще обратила внимание на китайских гимнастов на чемпионате мира, который проходил в Москве.
I even noticed Chinese team back in Moscow.
They're good.
Я думаю, и еще мне нравятся китайские гимнастки, потому что они работают очень чисто.
I like Chinese gymnasts because they work very hard at perfecting every element.
The United States and Brazil are going to play later tonight in men's basketball. The winner will go to the gold medal game, and you'll see that game right here. And we'll be back right after this break with more ladies gymnastics. Don't go away. They don't get any prettier than Seattle in the summertime. Take a look for yourself. We're returning with our coverage of the 1990 Goodwill Games. Basketball score in the first half, Yugoslavia 46, the Soviet Union 35. Yugoslavia leads by 11 in the first half. The winner of that game will play the winner of the United States-Brazil game for the gold medal. You'll see the game between the United States and Brazil. We'll get you some highlights from the Soviet-Yugoslavia game as well. We're going to stay with ladies gymnastics. And before we throw it back to Jim, Olga was saying something during the break that was really interesting, that you wished you were there. You'd like to be there to help the Soviet team. Would you elaborate a little?
Богинская из моего города, из Минска.
You want to be a coach?
Она упала, и мне бы хотелось на месте быть сейчас с ней рядом и помочь ей.
Our Soviet girl, Miss Baginskaya, fell down, and I feel so sorry for her. I really wish I was there to cheer her on and to tell her she can do it.
Would you like to coach?
Yes, I coach in Romania, the juniors team.
You do?
Yes.
Did?
Yes.
Would you like to coach in the United
Yes,
States?
I like very much to coach wherever I will be.
Where are you living now?
I live in Canada.
Montreal?
Yes, that's the place where I won my gold medal.
And your home is?
Беларусь, Минск.
In Minsk?
Yes.
My mother was from Minsk.
Oh.
We'll be back with Nadia and Olga, but right now back to the Tacoma Dome and Jim Simpson.
All right, Larry, let us call out all of the cliches. A gamer, someone who has to play when hurt. We told you about Kim Zemesco. As you take a look at the standings at the end of the first rotation, we're in the second. We told you about her tendonitis. We told you about her bursitis. She got a 9.90 on the beam. And watched moments ago as she took the floor for the floor exercise. Talk about a gamer. All out the cliches because she deserves them all, Kathy.
This was about the best floor routine I've ever seen Kim do. She's a very, very powerful tumbling. You'll see it right here. Opens with a full twisting double back in piked position. Very European type music. Perfect double turn. These are all the tiny little things that the judges are looking at. You don't want to give away any deductions. 3 whip back, right through to a double back, and a perfect landing. The routine really picks up here. She has a lot of energy. Set up her final tumbling run. Take a look at this landing. Again, right on the button.
And for that, she got a 9.937, bettering her mark, which we thought was incredible, on the balance beam. And you look ahead to tomorrow's all-around. But in the team standings for the second half of the second rotation yet to go, the USA holding on to a slight lead over China. The Soviets yet to compete in this rotation. Kim Zemesco.
What is really important in this competition, the team competition, is that the United States is really doing very well. They had 4 excellent floor routines, all scoring 9.8s or 9.9s. That was really the only deduction in the whole routine. Slightly large step after that first tumbling run. That's a really nice tumbling run.
If you didn't know the name before, there she is, Kim Zemeskal of Houston, Texas. And let's join one of our anchors of the IBC that has come out here to Tacoma with us. And let's go to Hannah Storm in our own building, Hannah.
Well, Kim Zemeskal told us, Jim, that the floor exercise is her favorite, and I think you can see why. She was absolutely terrific, has been the USA's most solid performer to date. Sandy Woolsey, also a solid performance on the floor. She rebounded from her fall off the dismount when she was on the bars, when she was on the balance beam. And Betty Aquino is an interesting story. She's displayed great grace. She has beautiful body lines. She's been absolutely terrific in what is really her international debut. So solid performance all around from the U.S. gymnast. And assistant coach Storm Eaton has just told me the American ladies have the vault coming up. That could be their strongest apparatus overall. They are all doing the same vault. Jim?
All right, Anna, and we will tell you that Oksana Chusovinita of the Soviet Union, the first on the beam for the Soviet Union, fell. So this story is not over yet. We'll come back in a moment. Fell for the Soviet Union on the balance beam, and let's go back in time to see the Soviets with more problems.
It was on a round-off layout step out. She's fairly new to the Soviet team, and I think just showing a little immaturity, lack of experience. But more importantly, this is a critical situation now the Soviet Union finds themselves in. Very much a pressure situation. In order to catch the United States, to tie with them at this point, they would have to average a 9.916.
Kathy, when was the last time the Soviets trailed in a team competition? Are you aware of any time?
I only know of one time they ever lost a major championship, and it was to Romania. And it's very unusual for them to not have the lead throughout an entire competition.
That, as I recall, was in 1987. And Romania is in disarray, as we said, as they came on the air because, well, they're closing down a lot of training centers. Financially, they couldn't send a whole team. But there's Chusovinita, 15 years old, from Tashkent, and she fell and got that 9.337.
Very unfortunate, as I said, for the Soviet Union. They had a fall on the uneven bars. Of course, they were able to drop that score. Now they're looking to drop this score, and not only drop it, but score 9 nines from here on out, which is not impossible for this team, by the way.
Not impossible for them, but there's added pressure because they've seldom, well, this team has never been in that situation, these youngsters.
This is a tough event to have added pressure to. Here's where the problem was. The roundup was off to the side. And you could just see a little bit of lack of aggressiveness for that landing.
United States, this is after one rotation. Remember, China is moving up. Soviet Union, as Kathy said, has to average a 9.90 to catch up. Tatiana Lysenko has just completed her work on the balance beam with a 9.887.
Close, but not quite there. They need 9.95s and 10s.
And this is Natalia Kalinina of Hershyn down in the Ukraine. She is 16 years old. This is not her best event. But like all Soviets, she's an all-around performer.
Well, if it's not her best event, I'm sure there's a lot of gymnasts here that
would like to be as good.
Exactly.
In the Soviet Nationals last year, she was first in the all-around. So she's an all-around great performer.
Beautiful full twisting back handspring to a swing down. Very difficult move. It's becoming much more common. She has a nice combination of elegance in her dance and explosiveness in the tumbling and acrobatic elements. Beautiful combination, and that's a required series combining dance and acrobatics. Switch leg lead right into a back roll extension.
This year she was second in the American Cup of the all-around, second to Kim Zemeskal.
With that handspring to a layout step out. Now that's the type of landing I was talking about when Chusovinita just wasn't as aggressive as Kalinina was on that landing. It comes with experience. Very nice work. And look at that shot. A full twisting double back dismount with a perfect landing. Not only is that a very difficult dismount off the balance beam, but to do it that well and then stick the landing is incredible.
Natalia Klelinina, a person in the Ukraine. And Natalia is going to keep the Soviets in contention. Don't count them out yet.
You can never count them out. Again, that's a full twisting back handspring to a swing down. And I've said it before, and I mean it, I would hate to have to train that every day in the gym. Very nice pass. Watch the aggressiveness on this landing. Some gymnasts might have been a little bit off here. She checked it quickly and went right to position. This is superb. Full twisting double back, pulls it right around.
Judges thought so also, Kathy. 9-9-0 for Natalia Klelinina in the balance beam. And here is the world champion who fell on the uneven. Svetlana Boginskaya.
Not only is she the all-around world champion, two-time European champion as well. Really the queen of gymnastics at this point.
And such is the nature of the women's gymnastics at age 17. Svetlana says she may be too old by the time Barcelona and the Olympic Games roll around in 2 years.
I would love to be that old again. Very nice work so far. She also is very aggressive on this event. Very sharp movement. Interesting choreography. One of the requirements is that the gymnast must do some element down low to the beam. So of course she was fulfilling that requirement. Gainer, layout, step out. She has an interesting landing on all of her elements, very different from these gymnasts.
If she comes up with a 9.962, the Soviets would move into a tie with USA.
Well, she has the reputation and the routine to do just that, but she has got to make no mistakes. Double back. Look at that landing. That is experience.
Under pressure.
That is a seasoned veteran. She knows how to come back. Very rarely makes a mistake. That's one of the trademarks of Boginskaya, is that she is so consistent, and that's why she's world champion.
Well, to alert Larry King that he said that his parents were from Minsk. Well, Svetlana is from Minsk also.
Nice front tuck mount right into a double stag jump. Here's her critical pass on the balance beam. Tumbling pass, back handspring, layout, step out, right to another back handspring. And as I said, she lands a little bit differently than most gymnasts with a straight leg and leaning slightly forward, but it works for her. And you know exactly what's going through this world champion's mind. She must stick the dismount, and she does just that. Drops it right in.
And you know what? She has put the USA behind the USSR with her 9.937. Check that with a 9.937. USA stays in the lead, but barely. Let us go on to Larry King again.
Thanks, Jim. Wow. What an event. And by the way, just to, so she gets some credit, Vika Farahan is doing our interpreting tonight. She's an American formerly of the Soviet Union, and she's from Pinsk, where my late father was from Pinsk. My mother was from Minsk. That takes care of all the Minsks and Pinsks. What did you think, Nadia, of Svetlana's performance?
I knew Svetlana Boginskaya before. She's a great gymnast, and she's still the best in the world, I think.
She's right now the best.
Yes.
Also,
and she's so sure in all the things that she's
Jim Simpson
doing.
said at 17, she's 17 now, she might be old for Barcelona at 19. What do you think of that?
In 1992, gymnastics is a sport. You start earlier and finish earlier. And I think if she feels she's so old,
If you
she's
feel
right.
old, you're old.
Yes.
That's right. If you
Stop.
feel old, you're
Yes.
old. All right, what did you think, Olga, of her performance?
Здесь судьи поскупились, я бы поставила 10.
I think she deserves
Она
a 10.
действительно
She really did a
великолепная
remarkable job.
гимнастка, и я очень сожалею, если мы ее не увидим в 92 году.
And I will feel really sorry if she won't make it till 1992 as a gymnast.
Вот надо собираться и ехать, вот какие у нас прекрасные девочки.
Something's wrong, right?
See, Larry, you and I should go to Minsk since we have such beautiful girls there.
Olga, come here. Come here, Olga. We go to Minsk.
Yes.
The quiet night. I'm getting carried away here, Olga. I want to make a comment. The Soviet uniforms are beautiful. You mentioned they make you look slim.
Они худят, да?
Да, мне не верят, я всегда говорю, что черный и
I
белый
always
цвет
said that
худеет.
black and white looks great, and now finally they believed me.
И это мой самый любимый цвет.
It's my favorite color, you can see.
Yes, black and white. I like the uniforms mean anything? Does it matter what you're wearing?
Имеет ли значение, что в чем вы одеты?
Конечно.
Yes.
Во-первых,
It
гимнастки
does.
себя чувствуют, если они сами себе
A
нравятся,
gymnast feels herself better, she feels herself more beautiful.
если это
The
удобно.
better she is.
It has to be comfortable, it has to be attractive.
Do you agree?
Yes.
In other words, if they give you a drab looking like a yucky uniform,
No.
you'll perform worse.
No, I think that it's very important, the uniform for the gymnast.
In other words, the better you feel, the better you perform.
Yes.
I want to even this up, can I? This is a good job. When we come back, more ladies gymnastics. I'm Larry King with Hannah Storm and Nick Charles at the 1990 Goodwill Games. Don't go away. Action this weekend on TBS. Goodwill Game coverage starts at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, tomorrow and Sunday with Nick and Hannah. We're back at the International Broadcast Center here in Seattle. Let's get back to the ladies gymnastics. Hannah Storm is at the Tacoma Dome tonight. Hannah?
Well, I don't think I sound like Hannah, Larry. We'll get to her in a moment, but take a look at the scores after 2 of the 4 rotations. By .025, the Soviets trailed the United States. China is in this, and it is the United States leading after 2 rotations over the heavily favored Soviet Union with 2 more rotations to go. And now let us rotate down to the floor and Hannah Storm.
Thanks, and typical of Bella Karolyi's gymnasts of the USA team tonight. They're consistent, they're well prepared, and they are unafraid. Bella Karolyi, perhaps the world's best-known gymnastics coach, has made his mark on 2 continents, Romania and the United States. Bella Karolyi defected to this country in 1981 when his Romanian team was on tour here. We see Bella on the sidelines, the scowls, the smiles, those big bear hugs. But what we don't see is Bella's other side. He's perhaps the only Romanian cowboy in Texas.
I start my day at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock when I'm preparing the gym, preparing ready for workout, 7 o'clock workout almost every day. Then I'm leaving and I'm going out to the range. Then I have, you know, the other side of my life. That's the one what keeps me probably going. The ranch is totally different than my profession. And the opposite activities, the totally different activities, I believe, you know, is a great, giving me a great balance, balancing out my interest, balancing out the effort, the mental concentration, everything which is involved in both sides. Ranching is not easy. Working with animals, creating and making a living out of it is really, I promise, it's not easy.
Strong. All right.
Afternoon is, again, gymnastic coaching is not easy either. You need a lot of concentration, a lot of planning, on everyday control, minute by minute control. And I believe one without other, actually for me, won't work as well like in the combination how I'm doing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
After 8 years, finally, the long expected moment came. One of the senators from Texas handed out the diploma, and all 3 of us begged hard and then declared U.S. citizens, which was a very, very rewarding moment. That was something what always gonna stick with me. I consider myself a happy person and a lucky person at the time. I do 2 things or 3 things in my life, and all I love. I love my profession, I love ranching, and I love hunting. And I love my family too. And now when everything comes together, and I still have an opportunity to do all 4 or 5 of them, I think, that's the greatest thing what you can ever expect, or the greatest wish what any human person can have, guaranteeing the happiness and fulfilling the so-called lucky status.
All right.
We have just seen the very gentle side of a Bela Karolyi. There is another side in the gym. He is undoubtedly very strict. He is also very stern. He demands perfection. Not everybody agrees with his coaching method, but everybody agrees on one thing, and that is that Bela Karolyi has taught us all how to work harder. And you see the results here tonight, Larry.
Thank you, Hannah. We're going to go back out to Houston. And this is the site in Houston, Texas, that dynamic, very hot city in the month of July. Bela Karolyi's gym. And we're going to speak with young Hillary. What's your last name, Hillary?
Grivich?
Hi, Hillary. You're a close friend of Kim Zemaskall's, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how's she doing so far?
She's doing really well. A couple of days ago, she discovered she had tendonitis in her wrist, and she wasn't sure if she was going to compete, but she's just blocking out the pain. She's doing really well.
And I've got Nadia sitting here. I've got Olga. I've got Hillary. How old is Hillary?
13.
13. Are you going to be on our next team? You'll be 15. You'll be ready to compete internationally.
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
Why, Hillary, why'd you take this up?
When I was 3, my mom started teaching a little tiny tots class in a gym, and I wanted to go. And then when I was 7, I came to Bela Karolyi's camps in Houston, and I thought it was just great, and so I just kept going from there.
Are you a Houstonian?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Houston.
What do you like most about it?
It's sunny most of the time.
No, I mean, what do you like most about gymnastics?
Oh.
I can see where you took that as Houston, but I'm into Minsk and Pinsk. I got enough with Houston. Okay. Now, why do you like gymnastics so much?
It's a challenge, and it's a lot of fun.
What are you best at?
Probably beam.
And what's the hardest?
My hardest is bars. Bars is the hardest for me.
And how good a coach is Bela?
He's really good.
Is he easy or tough?
He's tough.
How often do you go to class?
Every day. Well, 6 days a week. Twice a day.
Wow. Hillary, good luck to you. We'll be following your career.
Thanks.
And we'll pass your best wishes along to Kim. And we'll be back with lots more gymnastics. And men's basketball, the United States takes on Brazil. Winner goes to the gold medal. We'll be right back.